Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Chronicle. I'm the Ravnos Archon. I'll be your storyteller this evening. My name is Will, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. We are going back into our Camarilla coterie. We are still sans Carl, since real-life issues have pulled him away for the time being. But last episode, we opened up with them jumping a week as Ivory spoke to her sire and found out some things about him leaving Paris, about not feeling the loss of Geraldine, and how they didn't have a typical kind of lover relationship as far as sire and child are concerned. They were much more like siblings. We established that Billy went and tried to look for Lydia to let her know that she was being sought after. Kathy decided to spend her week with the Malkavians and trying to hear about Tulip and whatnot. And she did learn that Manny has not been able to find her. We also got to see that Sheriff Green visited them to check out the establishment for New Year's Eve and to see what was necessary. He let them know that he would be able to set up some police uniforms to watch the streets, but nothing as far as the club's protection is concerned. But Ivory has already set that up on her end. But he did let them know that Sasha Vikos has left for Seattle, verifying that information, and also verifying that there is a Sabbat pack somewhere in the north end of the city. He also let it slip that the Quajin have doubled down on Portland and that Prince Johnson is currently on the defensive as far as that is concerned. And Kathy noticed a little bit of melancholy in his voice whenever he brought up Melvin or Tulip or the Nosferatu in general, and a little bit of frustration whenever he mentioned Marcus Bradley or the Albatross. But we also established that Carl has successfully used the ritual of finding, as he calls it, once, but not having Vitae would make things a little bit more difficult for him. We also established that Kathy has not seen her brother in a few days. He is on the other side of the shroud, having very good times. If I could use my sarcastic tone heavily there. But we got to see them look through the copy of the ledger that they had from the Malkavian Primogen's estate, and they ended up going over to where Kathy was embraced, pretty much, and where she had found her brother again after his demise. And as she kind of looked around and called out, something answered, and she ended up asking it to help with finding Tulip. There was a feeling of coldness as tendrils of fingers, spectral fingers, reached into her mind and tickled her in a way that might not have been consensual had she known what was going to happen. But several of memories of Tulip came washing over her, and then something was lost. But the entity promised to find them for her, and then vanished into the night. Back at the car, they noticed that they were being followed. The nice car that was following them had vanity plates on the front that read TW, a rose, and then TV. It turned out to be the car for Yvette Morrison, who wanted to speak to Ivory, and was told promptly to set an appointment. And then she sped off. They arrived at one of the red ink addresses to find that it was a halfway house for battered women. And then there was a little bit of a performance as Kathy made her way in and tried to set herself up as a new addition to the house. Even signing in as Ivory Larkson, which is a nice little tongue-in-cheek moment for the two of them. And there was a moment where we got to see a little bit of Ivory's beast bubble up as she tried to sniff out whether or not they were lying to them. And we left off with Ivory going to check out some of the other addresses in the ledger, while Kathy decided to have a day out for herself, kind of an investigative, nuanced detective noir novel of her own, as she was meandering through the house. And we're going to pick up, I think, hello, ladies. It's good to see you again. we're gonna pick up with Ivory's first stop, I think. There is a address just off of I-5 and Lockhaven Drive. It's in the north end of town, and it turns out to be a motel with a bar attached to it, and it's called Knight's Haven. It's maybe got a dozen rooms, and the bar looks like there's a smokestack that has a little tendril of smoke. You can smell vestiges of food that has been prepared. It might have like the tiniest of kitchens. But there is an older gentleman that you can see through the large window and the kind of glass door. Middle-aged looking, a little bit of kind of a donut of toughed out hair, kind of like Danny DeVito. Just tired, sitting there yawning. Looks like he's looking at a television, because every so often you'll see colors wash over his face, but for the most part it's a static kind of glow.
A bar, yeah. That.
Yep.
Pretty normal.
But Billy will park the car and just kind of look back at you.
Yeah, I guess I should check it out real quick, but I doubt they would put Geraldine here.
Once he hears that you're going to check it out, he gets out, he comes around and he opens the door for you.
Okay.
You want me to go with you, ma'am?
Yeah.
He'll hook his elbow out towards you.
She'll take his arm.
We go into the bar, we go into the front desk.
To the bar. People talk more with alcohol.
Yes, ma'am. And he leads you over, opens the door, and from the outside, it looks like a typical kind of motel and just a drab, kind of grayish blue paint job with like spatters of white to make it look like a evening sky and whatnot. It looks like the laziest attempt to create a night sky. And inside, the decor is garish. It's the first word that comes to mind. It is decked out almost like a sailor motif, like a pirate motif. There's a rudder to a ship on the wall. There's the steering wheel to a ship. There's a cheap dollar store set of pirate clothing off to the side and a little plaque that has some writing on it. And even the bartender, once he hears a door open, like he looks over and brings his eye patch down. He goes, "Arr, welcome. Have a seat."
So Ivory starts playing Vapid Blonde. Oh, isn't this so cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh,
and
thank
Billy,
you for finding it.
Yeah, Billy leads you to the bar and then makes his way over to the jukebox. There are two people, one at the other end of the bar and one at a table. The one at the table is having a beer. It looks like there's another beer bottle that was emptied and just never picked up. And the one at the other end of the bar looks like they're having a lowball glass of something dark brown. No ice. It's neat.
So, looks at the bartender. You got any Bartles and James?
Bartles and James. Is that a liquor?
That's the wine. It's a wine cooler.
A wine cooler. Oh.
Yeah.
He looks down. You almost get the idea that he is not looking for any Bartles and James.
Okay.
But he just kind of like makes it look like he's looking And he bends down. Nope. Can you believe it? I don't got any Bartles and James.
Oh.
I have regular wine. I have actual wine. He has that condescending tone.
Nah, I'll have a beer.
Okay. Yeah.
What you got on tap?
Milwaukee's Best and Budweiser.
Budweiser.
You got it. And he pulls out a pint glass, starts to fill it up. Puts a little coaster in front of you, puts the glass in front of you.
Yeah. Oh, where's the little girl's room?
Oh, right over there, past the steering wheel and the dead pirate.
I love the motif in here. It's just so cool. And
Yes.
she'll get up and go over to the bathroom. Is there other doors over there?
There is the two doors to the bathrooms, a male, female.
Yep.
And there is a door marked closet. On the far end, closer to the gentleman drinking the lowball glass, is a door that's marked office. And it says employees only in kind of graffiti.
Is there a door I went through so that they wouldn't see me go into the office?
No, like you would have to.
It's open.
Yeah, like the office is on one end of the bar, the bathrooms are on the other end of the bar.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they were in the same hallway.
No, the office, what's it called? Not the office, oh my god, there's a broom closet. So it's a two bathrooms, and in between them there's a closet door. The office, the actual like employees only in the office are over by the bar. Sorry.
Okay. All right. She's gonna go in the bathroom.
Yep.
And
looks like it hasn't seen a hand in at least a month.
Not surprised.
Since
not that she has to use the facilities.
Came.
Yeah. My daughter just came home. Sorry.
No problem. Excited. Super excited.
Sorry.
No problem.
So does it look like there was a basement or any kind of thing like that?
From the outside, not really. There's drainage. There's little circular drainage on the floor. Like the four corners all lean slightly. There's like maybe an 8-degree kind of, maybe 6-degree kind of decline towards it. But otherwise, typical bathroom. There's 3 stalls, 2 sinks, 2 mirrors. One of them is actually serviceable. The other one looks like it's been scratched all to hell. There's remnants of different shades of lipstick from people kissing it or writing messages that have been scratched out. It is a precursor to a Jackson Pollock.
Okay. I was going to say, do I smell blood? But probably.
Old blood.
Okay.
It's not pungent, but
okay.
You
so
are
it's not
familiar
probably
with
a
that
lot.
scent. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
She's going to stop up one of the toilets and make it overflow.
Not too difficult.
Oh, and she comes out. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I tried to flush it to clear it, and it started overflowing. And sorry. Does the guy go in?
Yeah, the guy's like, it's all right, it's okay. This happens every so often. I got it. Don't worry. And he pats the guy at the end of the bar in the back, and he grunts and acceptance and makes his way past you into the bathroom. And just lets out a sharp whistle when he sees the water overflowing and just shakes his head. Goes into the broom closet. You see that it's just full of chemicals and cleaning supplies, some of which have probably never seen the light of day. There's still a broom and dustpan combo that have their price sticker on them. Haven't been touched.
Okay. At no point do both of those guys leave.
No, the guy drinking the beer is just sitting there, lost in the music, just kind of bobbing his head. And the other guy at the bar just has slid over enough so that he's covering the corner so that nobody can get into the bar proper. Kind of like just, you imagine a watchdog of sorts.
Sense the unseen.
Okay.
Anything?
That is aspects, correct?
Yes.
And
and it's free. So.
Yeah. Just want to see if there's what the contested role is.
Oh, there's a contested role. All right.
Oh no, it's just a hidden role of wits and aspects. Okay. So let me see what your wits and aspects is. This is good times.
So that would be 5 dice.
5 dice.
For me.
And you are at hunger 1? Yes. Good.
Yes.
Good. Perfect. You kind of blink a couple times to let your senses switch over. And there's a moment where it looks like there's that kind of predator effect in one of the corners. But the moment you kind of glance back towards it, there's nothing there.
What do you mean by predator?
Like from the movie Predator, like that kind of bending of light. It's very faint, and it's not even like a very defined outline. It's just there's this moment where part of the wall looks bent wrong, and then when you glance back over at it, it's gone.
What's in the corner?
Right now there's a mannequin that's been dressed like Blackbeard the pirate. He's got his leg up and everything, just like the Bacardi bottles or those rum bottles would have you believe that all pirates stood. But otherwise it's just another one of those shenanigans type accoutrement laden walls.
Yeah, so she's going to look like she's just looking at all of the different things and make her way over to that corner. Is there anything weird? As she like reaches out to touch it or anything like that?
Nothing. You hear the gentleman at the end of the bar, careful with the mannequin. He tends to come apart. You're too rough
sorry.
with him.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
But she acts like she's not touching. She's specifically not touching the mannequin, and she leans back onto the wall to see behind it.
There looks like there might have been something there. It looks like it's been shoddily painted over. You can see remnants of some kind of paint job from before, and what looks like burn marks. And you see Billy kind of saddle up to the bar stool next to where you were sitting. He lights a cigarette and takes a swig from your beer.
Interesting. Okay.
But the guy comes back from the bathroom.
She goes back over to Billy.
He comes back from the bathroom. And I had to call the plumber in the morning, but yeah, it is what it is. I put an out of order sign on the stall. So just know that you have to use one of the other two, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
You staying next door? I haven't seen you around.
No. Jim just told me, pointing at Billy, Jim just told me that you guys had a pirate bar, and I love pirates. So he just...
He sure does. Can't get enough of them. He takes a long drag of his cigarette. He's like, yeah, I didn't know this was a pirate-themed bar when I signed up, but here we are. He's like, do you mind? And he pulls on his eye patch.
It's okay.
Pulls it up back to his forehead. Things
Depth perception? Yeah. Yeah.
It's rough.
How long you been working here?
About 2 years now, pays the bills. Not great money, but not a lot of action. I don't have to kick anybody out. There's 3 or 4 regulars. You get to know them. Like Michael over there. He points to the guy at the end of the bar who raises his glass and slides his seat back over where it was. And he looks past you to the guy in the table, and he's like, "That guy I don't know, but he's staying at the motel." So
you get a lot of business from the motel?
Oh, a lot of business, yeah. Tons of people.
Is it pretty busy? Or is it one of those, no tell motel kind of places?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't pay that much attention. I find that the less I see, the less people bother me.
I guess.
Yeah. If it is, then none of the action comes over here. So.
Yeah, so she's looking like she's drinking her drink.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah. And every so often, Billy will pretend to whisper something in your ear, and then just kind of like at the same time pull the drink towards him, take a swig that is much bigger than he should be taking, but just to kind of offset what you are looking like you're taking out. So.
Good job.
Yeah, you've had him for a while.
Yeah, that used to be a thing. That's not a thing anymore in this one.
Yeah.
Being able to fake that stuff.
Yep. But you've had him for a while, so Billy, I think I'm going to err on the side of competence.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that he is trained.
But I really did want a Bartles and James. Maybe we should go someplace else now. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, and he puts down a 10 on the bar. And the guy's like, "Hey, you want your change?" But he shakes his head. "It's yours. Keep it, kid." Like, cool, thanks, man.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye. And the guy with the low ball glass kind of just again holds it up to you as you're leaving.
So they'll go out.
Yeah.
Hey, Billy, drive around the block to the alley. I want to see if there's more to this building than showing.
Yes, ma'am. And as he drives around, we check in on everyone's favorite Nosferatu goblin, Kathy. You are inside the halfway house. They lead you to one of the rooms where there's like a communal set of beds, and you just hear like the soft kind of breathing, the slight snoring here and there. But most of the people, if not all of the people in the room at least, are knocked out, asleep. And the lady that brought you back here, she's like, okay, so there's a cot right over there. You can feel free to use that. Just be mindful of everyone else and try not to make too much noise.
Kathy nods. And of course she, bats her eyes and says, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. If you need anything, I'm gonna be down the hall. If you hear footfalls, that's just one of our security guys. So don't get alarmed. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, I completely understand. Thank you.
Yep. And she goes out, and then you hear the door close, and she goes back to the front area.
All right then. Kathy makes it to the nearest window.
Okay.
To see if it opens.
It does not.
Ooh.
It's a very small, kind of little half paper size as far as length is concerned, or width, but it is about a regular sheet of paper size length. And there's a few of them that line the hall. If you go up to them, you can see that there's an outside kind of backyard, patio, kind of exercise yard. And in the distance, in one of the corners, you can see the little glow of what looks to be two cigarettes, one higher than the other. So you can imagine that somebody's sitting while somebody's standing.
In the courtyard?
Yep.
Ooh, that's where she's headed.
Okay.
She goes to try the door to see if it unlocks.
As you go to open the door to the backyard, you notice that it's propped open. There's a little slim kind of what's it called, slipper that's been wedged in between the locking mechanism and the door itself, the door frame.
Can she hear them talking from where she is?
No, you would have to walk towards them. It's like 80 feet.
Is there shadows?
Yeah, there's a bunch of shadows.
Obfuscate.
Okay. Roll your hunger dice.
That would be my pink dice. Did I? Wait, I lied. Wait. Yes, I have another one. Okay, sorry. One flew out of my hand.
Nope.
All right. So I'm rolling my pink.
Yep.
I got an 8.
All right. You have that familiar feeling of pulling on the shadows. You feel like you are unobserved, and as you come closer, you'll see that there's two women, an older one and a younger one. There's a glass ashtray between the two of them that looks like it has 6 or 7 cigarette butts. It looks like they've been out here for a while. And you hear them talking. The young one is coming down from anxiety attack, a nervous kind of spell. The older one is trying to be very reassuring, but otherwise they're just kind of chatting with each other. As you come over, the older one is putting out her current cigarette. The other one is lighting up a new one. What do you do?
I'm going to attempt to try to, maybe... Is there light, anything on them? I want to try to get, a look at their necks, their bodies, to see if maybe there were bite prints.
There's a little, perimeter lighting every so often. The closest one is maybe 20 feet from them, so it's rough to get a good look at them. It looks like they're sitting out here to trying to get some kind of privacy. But
Okay.
as far as like looking at them, give me a wits and awareness roll. So your hunger's still at 1, surprisingly. So it's going to be 4 regular dice and 1 hunger dice for you.
Am I 4? Okay. Okay, I got a 0,
Yes, 10.
0, a 3, a 5, and a 4.
So 2 zeros, so 2 10s.
Yes.
Okay.
A 3, a 5, and a 4.
You try to get a good look at them, but none of them look disheveled. They don't have any bite marks on them. They don't look like they're pale in any way, shape, or form. They're both breathing because they're smoking. They're both kind of bundled up, but otherwise, they don't give you any kind of idea of monstrosities.
Okay. Outside of this perimeter of this garden, is there anything blocking?
Yeah, there's a high wall. There's a high concrete wall. So it looks like it's an encased yard that has. It's wide enough to set itself up as an exercise yard, but it's also protected. The walls are 9 feet tall, and there's a not an aggressive amount of kind of spike tops, but there are protective measures for people getting out or people coming in. It looks like they're curved more towards people coming in than anything else, but regardless, they're still up there.
All right, try the front door. She's gonna head back.
Yep.
And she's gonna try to sneak her way out the front door.
Okay. It's not too hard. Are you gonna leave the slipper on the door, or are you gonna lock them out?
I'm gonna leave the slipper in the door.
Yep.
And the fact that I had to think about that tells me my character.
Yeah. And that's why I asked. But yeah, as you're leaving, you get to the door and you hear a clicking noise from one of the sides of the building, and then you'll see just this circle of white light shine over the wall and hit the two of them, and then you hear a man's voice. All right, back inside. You know you're not allowed out here after hours. And both of the women kind of groan, and the older one gets up and is just like, okay, all right. You don't have to take that tone of voice. All right. We're just talking. We're just talking. And the guy's like, I know, but you know the rules. Tell you what, finish the cigarette, and if I come back and you're still here, we're gonna have issues with the ladies out front. And the older lady's like, thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. And you hear the clicking noise, and the light goes off, and he starts to whistle his way back around the perimeter the same way he showed up.
Going to kind of like walk around him in a sense
Okay.
to try and get to the front door to try and get out.
Yeah. It's not too difficult. Once you're inside, it's not difficult to get out. It's getting inside that is the issue here. It's like a reverse prison. It's very protective of the people inside.
Good. That confirms at least that part.
Yeah.
Once I do are able to get outside?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I am going. There were taxis back then, right?
Of course.
I'm gonna immediately try and hail a taxi.
Okay. You walk up for a bit. Yep.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, how far is Otis?
From you?
Yeah. Because that's originally where I was supposed to go.
It's a far run, or ride. You're in Kaiser right now, and he's in on the north end of West Salem.
Trying to get to Manny.
I get you. Let me see if there is another bridge except the one that crosses. So, the Willamette looks like it only has, as far as going from Salem to West Salem, the main bridge. You would have to go into Wheatland, which is a good distance away, and then come back down to get to Salem town.
All right. What is within walking distance?
Within walking distance of you is a few things here and there. Few sites. There's definitely one of the busier streets, which is River Road. You could definitely get a cab there.
Okay.
It's maybe like 6 or 7 blocks away from where you are.
I can't get to Manny tonight. That's fine. I'm going to get to my brother. With that said, I'm going to try and hail a cab back to Ivory's little establishment.
Okay, the bar?
If I can't. Yeah, because you're telling me that it basically will take too long to get to Manny's?
It would put you very close to sunrise, so you'd have to ask for sanctuary, which is up to you whether or not you want to be beholden to Otis and his coterie as far as that's concerned.
Nope. I am going to make my way back to Ivory's, and I'm going to attempt to
Nobody wants to give Otis boons?
No one wants to give him boons. He fucking did not give him. I will find it.
He's the nicest adventurer you've ever seen.
Of course. But yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna try and at least get some answers some way, somehow.
Okay. Do you have
so
cash on you? Does Ivory give you a stipend or?
No, there is no stipend. There is no stipend. I already know what I'm gonna pull.
Okay.
I'm gonna have them drop me off like a block back, obfuscate, and then just like kind of trickle my way into her place.
Well, I'm not asking like if you can afford to go into the club, like you live there. I'm asking like how are you going to pay for this cab ride?
So the thing is, you pay for cab rides after. So I'm gonna have him drop me off at a block at some random house, pretend like I'm walking in, obfuscate, and then ditch the cab.
Oh, okay. So you're just gonna ruin this man's life. That's what you're saying.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Yeah, no, I know that's part of the reason why I asked it out loud is how are you going to pay for this? So I know, and Ivory knows that you are a scumbag. But yeah, you give him some story about going inside to get money, and he waits and he waits, and he is still there by the time you leave the area and get into Ivory's nightclub.
Yep.
But you're safe now, so we're gonna switch back over to Ivory. Going around the back of the Knight's Haven motel, it looks like there's a simple small parking lot for employees. There is a hallway that breaks up the dozen rooms. All of them are front facing. There's no shared wall here. So there's 6 rooms on the first floor, 6 rooms on the second floor. And the office is attached to the main motel building. There is a small alley between the office and the bar. And then there's a small alley on the other side of the bar that kind of faces a side street that leads to the main street. But Billy pulls up, parks the car.
So thinking about the layout, That corner that was weird.
Mhm.
Was that on an outside wall?
No, it would be on the corner wall that's facing the office, the rear of the office. So it would be the corner that's closest to you on this side of the event.
Okay. I didn't see in the office, so I don't know how big it actually is.
Yeah, no. The office for the motel is maybe 20 by 30. There's a big kind of desk, countertop. There's a small couch for visitors that are just waiting or whatnot.
Yeah. Okay, so
Nothing
I'm getting
major.
confused. Are we talking about the office for the bar or the office for the hotel?
No, the office for the
Because
hotel.
that corner. Yeah, but the
corner with the pirate. So
yeah.
if this is the office for the hotel and this is the bar, this is the corner where you saw the weirdness. The office
you
is
said
on.
they weren't attached, so
Yeah, no, the bar and the office to the motel are not attached.
right.
The bar's office is definitely attached to the bar, but it's on the opposite side of the corner where the pirate predator thing happened.
So the corner where the mannequin was
Is closest to the back parking lot.
Okay. And does it look like there's a difference in size, or like there's a secret room or anything like that?
Given your time inside the bar and moving around, let's have you make a wits and awareness roll.
Okay. Can I add my aspects?
Yes, I'll let you add your aspects for that.
I was checking it out. So. What is my
use your sense the unseen.
One, two, three, 4 successes.
4 successes. It looks like this corner out here is a little bit more pronounced. It almost looks like there's enough of a distance between the mannequin and the wall behind it and the wall out here to be wide enough for like a big man to just kind of sit in. It's not too large of a distance, but it is definitely not seen in this kind of areas, architecture, engineering.
Okay, and no windows or anything like that.
No windows. Looks like a concrete slab.
Okay. Well, obviously not going to do anything about it right now.
Yeah, the front end looks like it was acid washed concrete, so there's that kind of drippy texture to it. This whole wall, this side and halfway down the back wall of the bar, it looks just smooth, like smooth concrete. There is a door that leads into the bar from this side that you didn't notice on the inside, so you're imagining that this must be something that leads into the office, or that this is some kind of other door that the employees must know probably leads to the kitchen, if anything, because the trash is right next to it. There's a big dumpster, like one of those green dumpsters next to it. But it's not open.
Okay.
You don't hear anything from the other side.
Yeah, not her specialty. That's somebody else's specialty.
No, that's goblin work.
Okay. Interesting. All right, let's go.
Billy opens the door for you. Where to, ma'am?
So, Kathy does have the number to the car. When she finds out Ivory's not at the nightclub.
Yeah. She sure does.
I didn't know you. I figured Kathy didn't know you were going on an expedition. She gets the club and it's completely empty. She's like, All right.
Well, I don't know about completely. There is security.
There is security.
But yeah, I'm gonna try and summon my brother through like
Okay.
summoning means.
All
Like,
right.
I'm
Yeah.
actually going to try this.
All right, we'll get to you when that.
What time is it?
At this point, it's maybe 3:30.
Getting pretty late.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of the other addresses close by?
There's two addresses that are close enough to kind of scope out. You might be able to hit up both of them if you're just kind of looking. There's one that's off of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway and North Cherry Avenue, and there's another one that's off of River Road and Greenwood Drive.
Go to the closest one.
Yep. You drive up following the address, and as Billy pulls up, it is an all-night diner named the Family Table.
Okay.
It looks like there's maybe one person at the bar counter kind of area. There is a woman that looks to be chatting with him in typical waitress garb, and it looks like an older gentleman is white shirt, messy. The apron is also as messy as he is, but he's behind in what looks to be the kitchen area.
So I can see this through the windows.
Mhm.
Sense the unseen. See if there's anything funky.
Okay. You blink a couple times, and it doesn't look like there's anything strange inside. The inside doesn't look like a typical diner, like a 50s or 60s diner. It looks very much like it was transformed from that into a medieval, like, German tavern. So there's a lot of like wood motif inside. There's an elk head. It almost looks like a hunter's lodge as far as the decor is, but otherwise nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. Let's go to the other one.
Billy drives away and heads to the third spot, and you can see that it is a building. It is 2-story long building that is the phlebotomy training specialist building.
What is that?
Exactly what it sounds like. They train phlebotomy specialists. It's attached to an annex of the Kaiser General. But the hospital itself is maybe like 4 or 5 blocks down.
Okay. I imagine at this time of night, it's probably pretty empty.
Yeah, the lights are off in most of the offices. You do see that there is behind the glass door that leads into it, there's a front desk, and there is a older black gentleman in what looks to be a security garb, just kind of sitting with his feet propped up.
I sense the scene again. Just why not?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. Yeah, she's just not the breaking in kind of person. Not exactly.
You should be.
No, that's what you're for.
You know, everybody plays their role, man. Everybody plays their role.
But at least she knows what the places are now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's head back to the club.
Yes, ma'am.
See if Kathy made it back.
And he drives off.
And hopefully we don't have to go get her.
Back in the club, as Kathy arrives before Ivory will, you see that security is the only people that are actually inside. Ivory's not in her office. Billy's not around. The car isn't where it's normally parked. And you start doing what to get your brother's attention?
So as she was like in the taxi, obviously, instead of paying the guy, she was thinking about this.
Mm.
She was trying to think of all the different ways that he ended up being pulled to her. And so what she's gonna do is she's gonna ruffle through her little bag of belongings, and she's going to take like the most like cheesiest way about this, right? She's like, how do we summon a spirit? We summon them through connection. So she's gonna find like a really, really, really old uh memorabilia that she would have of him. Something that she would keep that's really small, like a locket or a piece of jewelry, or even a sense of like a wristband for him for when he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she's gonna clutch it as hard as she can. And she's gonna just basically put everything, who she is, everything that she could possess, every memory she can, as she tries to pull in the shadows to see if maybe she can pull on him
Yep.
to try and get him to come back.
You try to skate the line of activating and not activating your obfuscate, trying to get to that place where you remember him popping out and coming back into your life. And as you do, you hear something fall on the bar. There is a kind of rattling to one of the small mini fridges, and there is a coldness that comes over your shoulder, like somebody's hand has just been put there. And you hear his voice, but not his tone. I'm here. I'm here.
I feel like I should be worried. I feel like I'm touching too much. All right. This is gonna go well. She tries to grab at it, and it goes without even like thinking about it, because she's automatically like she's just happy to have him back,
Mhm.
right? And she goes, "What happened? Where were you? I haven't seen you in days. I tried to call out like 5 times." And she's being dramatic at this point.
Yeah. And as you turn around, the hand feels like it's pulled away from you. I've been around here and there and around.
Does he sound off? Like, is he in pain?
It sounds like he's struggling. Yeah.
She sits up straight and goes, "You sound different. Are you gonna keep lying to me? Because we've never done that before."
I am not lying, just healing myself.
Healing from what? You were fine 3 days ago. And now she tries to turn around again.
Yeah. Things change. And you notice that the voice turns with you, so it's always trying to be not in your field of view, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't want to be in this kind of frontal cone.
Is there a mirror? Oh no, I wouldn't be able to see him in a mirror. Oh, maybe I would. Would I be able to?
There's a few mirrors here and there. It is a nightclub. That's how you get the best visibility for your guards and your security.
Could I see him in the mirror if I don't look like I'm trying to look?
It's weird because sometimes you will remember kind of seeing that shadow people, though those kind of videos of the shadow people kind of walking past the camera. Sometimes you'll see that in the periphery. You'll see the kind of the shadow of him moving or adjusting. There's a little bit of that. You kind of try to force yourself to see him in the periphery, and instead of being like your size, it looks like it's almost 7 feet tall.
So not his normal size.
Yeah, but you'll see
Okay.
something large shifting to not be seen by you in your periphery.
Okay. All right, liar. Who are you? And she's not even gonna look. All right. I'm calling your bullshit. Either I'm calling your bullshit, or I'm putting you back. Pick one.
You can try, sure.
Okay. That tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, it should.
Okay, cool. She tries to pull away. Be like, I called for my brother, not a demon. Pick one. Time to go. Bye bye. And she like tries to walk away.
Yeah, you just hear it following you.
Great.
I'm here inside.
Inside of what? And now she's walking through like Ivory's like nightclub.
Yeah.
Like just trying to get away from it.
Yeah, and people, some of the security that's there just will hear you talking and just kind of like look around, and then just attribute it to the stories they were told about you having
Mental episodes.
spells.
But more importantly, also she's trying to look for the nearby phone because she's about to call Ivory because she knows that she has the ability to see this shit.
Yeah, yeah. You find the phone, you call. This is on Ivory's return trip, so there's you caught her like maybe 10 minutes away from the club.
Okay, cool. The minute I'm like, I get on the phone, I'm gonna find somebody who's gonna see you, but I would highly suggest you tell me what's going on before she gets here, cause she's not gonna like it if you're messing around with her club. And like as she says that, she dials it.
Yeah.
And waits.
Yeah. Ivory gets a phone call on the phone. You're maybe like getting off the expressway, about to turn towards, heading towards your club.
Hello.
Hi, darling. I think I summoned a demon. It's kind of just sitting here in your club.
I think I summoned a
wonderful.
demon.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it
Perfect.
wasn't on purpose.
I'm on my way back.
Yeah, you might want to get here. Your club's gonna explode in about 10 seconds.
Billy, step on it.
Yes, ma'am. He accelerates.
And like she hangs up.
Mhm.
You're gonna keep telling me you're my brother? You're gonna keep lying?
There's no lies.
You're gonna
And
tell me what happened?
you feel the hands on both your shoulders.
There are plenty of lies. She like adjusts so that the shoulders like she adjusts out of it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, sweetheart, this ain't gonna end well. What happened? You don't look like my brother. You're definitely not as tall as my brother. And unless you go through a growth spurt, uh, something's different about you. I tell you what, you got 10 minutes to decide. Okay, fucker?
There's a lot you don't understand.
Then make me. And like she's not even like trying to be preppy now. She's like, then make me.
Yep.
Yeah, so just tell me when we get there.
Yeah. You feel the sudden coldness envelop the room. And there's a moment where you see one of the chairs gets flung out from under the table. The table itself gets flipped over. There's a crash. Some of the security guards come running up.
Like she puts up her hand and she goes, nah, I wouldn't come in here if I were you. I would not do it. I would not do it. I wouldn't do it. We're having a civil dispute. You don't want. Have you ever gotten in between two brothers fighting? You don't want to get in between this.
One of the security guards on one end of the room just kind of looks at the other security guard that came up the stairs, and he's just like, and the one on the stairs is just like, you handle this. And he starts to go back down. The moment the security guard comes over, like the second he steps into the main area of the room, you see him stop. And he's just like, it's cold in here, like
Yeah.
like really. And then he stops. He looks at you, and you see the color in his body just kind of drain, and he topples over.
Like dead?
It looks that way.
Motherfucker, what did you do? And like I proceed to walk over.
Yeah.
Like, this is what happens. This is what happens when I try to be nice to you. But nah, man, go fuck yourself. And like she bends over, she puts her like fingers to the pulse to see if she sees a pulse.
Okay. Give me a wits and medicine.
None of which I'm good at. Give me a second.
I mean, you got wits 3 and medicine 2, so you've got 5 dice. So
Oh,
4
that's
regular,
great.
1 hunger.
Hold on. Okay, so my hunger dice, unfortunately, has a 1.
Okay. But do
And
you
then
have actual
a 3 and
successes?
a 0. I have a 6, a 3, and a 0.
Okay. So you're fine.
Okay.
It feels like it's rough to find it at first, and then when you finally find it, you notice that it wasn't for lack of trying, but it's just becoming fainter and fainter. Like this guy is clinically dead, and his heart has just stopped, and you can just feel the last kind of vestiges.
He, like, turns over.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You made us angry. You
Who's
wouldn't
us?
like us when we're angry.
Who's us?
That
Who's us? Who is us? Who did you bring with you?
it's me.
Oh my
And at
God.
that, you do
said
hear your brother's voice.
Ooh. What are you doing? You know she's gonna be mad. Like I look right, like I'm still trying to look at him. Is he still not letting me see him?
Yeah, he's not letting you see him at all.
Are we gonna keep playing this game tonight? Are we really gonna keep doing this, you and I? And like she gets up, and now she's looking for things to like light a fire. I will bring so much light here.
Fire won't help.
Then what will?
Apologize.
For what?
And then you hear a very deeper and more guttural voice. Apologize.
For what?
Okay. And at that moment, you feel the coldness just suddenly strike you in the face. After halving it, you're going to take 2 points of superficial damage.
He spanked me.
I hit you. So
All right, so I take 2 points. What is that? How does that work then?
So basically, you because you're undead, physical strikes do less damage to you.
Okay.
And so it was a hard hit, like a backhand. But because of your undead resilience, it kind of softened the blow a bit. So you, instead of taking 4 points, you took 2. You have 5 health, so you're down 2 points of damage. You still have 3 points of health. Of regular health, because you can start taking aggravated once you eat up your regular health boxes. But yeah, there is definitely an aggression, and now the room has gotten even colder. And as Ivory pulls up, you'll notice that the windows to the club have fogged over, like the temperature has changed drastically.
What the fuck is going on?
But Billy doesn't even park the car in its spot. Like, he just pulls up to the front and throws it into park and gets out,
Yeah.
gun in hand.
Be careful. I think you're more susceptible to problems in this.
I'm just here to back you up, man.
So Ivory will go in. Auspex going.
And the moment you open the door, there is this frigid air. And as a vampire, you don't really feel temperature changes. You're dead. The this is such an extreme shift from the coldness outside to the soul burning cold that is inside your club right now, that the moment you open the door, you feel it, and you see Billy kind of suddenly is frostbitten over. Like there's frost coming
Out.
from his clothing, and he looks cold and almost bluish. And the moment you say out, he immediately just kind of steps back and just nods. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say that she comes in right when I get slapped.
Yeah.
So she gets to hear that slap.
Yeah.
So are they upstairs?
Yes, they are upstairs, second floor. And as you climb, you feel it get colder and colder.
Do I see any of the other security guys? Are they also down, or?
There's one that you see as you come up the stairs that Kathy looks to be standing over, but he's on the floor,
Yeah.
knocked out. The others were told not to interfere, so they're not going to be in the area. And once it got really cold, like they went out back.
Okay.
So they're fine.
All right.
But with Sense the Unseen, you will see this gangly, 7.5 foot tall, shadowy abomination of a humanoid shape. Excuse me, and you'll see that it's in an extended form as if it just kind of backhanded Kathy.
And she sees the security guard down.
Yeah, and the security guard's down as well.
So upstairs, there's some doors that go outside.
Mm-hmm. There are.
She's going to. They're probably locked. She's going to reach into her pocket, grab out the key, unlock it, pull the security guard outside. Hope that will help.
Yeah. He does not fight you. It almost feels like he's dead weight.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to have to pump to probably do it. Because I only have 1 strength.
Woo!
So, rouse check to...
Sure. Oh, you don't have any athletics either, so...
Nope.
Be safer to pump. Surge.
Yeah, I did not make that rouse check, so...
Okay. So your hunger goes up again.
Yep.
But you do get your 2 dice. So you're at 3 dice to pull him out. So I'm not gonna make you roll that. You've paid for it with your hunger increase. Your hunger 3 now?
I don't think so. No, I just put that in.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
I did it.
But remember, your hunger went up when you were talking to the ladies. So you should be a hunger 3.
No, that was a 10.
Oh,
that wasn't a 1.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was a beast. A messy crit. Gotcha.
Yeah.
My mistake. So you're at 2. But yeah, you pull him out. You call on the beast, and there is this snarling sensation that washes over you. But there's also that trepidation of this is not something you should be handling, and that it has any idea what to do with. So it is in the back of your throat, but also very much leaning more towards flight than fight.
Okay. So she's going to pull the security guard out.
Yep.
And come back in.
The thing looks in your direction, but still kind of focused on Kathy.
I don't know if presence works on these kind of things, but she might at least turn on awe.
Okay.
Just to maybe get a little bit of what seems to be the problem here. As she tries to push down her upsetness.
Yeah. Yep.
Kathy's like in shock.
Yeah.
That's another thing she could say. Like, she's in shock, and she actually whipped around to try and look at it, knowing full well that would probably walk around. And now she's pissed.
Yeah. But you notice that as Ivory calls on the blood to enhance her sociability, that frustration at the situation, at this whole thing, starts to really bubble up even more. Could I have Ivory give me composure and resolve roll, please?
2 hunger now.
Yeah, you sure do. Boy.
So 1 success, but it's a 10.
Okay. Um, there's a moment where you're used to, at this point, the shenanigans that come with being around Kathy, and yet that moment that you had the door try to be pushed open to let some of that frustration out, a hand grabbed onto it and pulled it open, and all of that negative emotion is now crashing against you psychologically.
Okay.
You have been unburdened by your filter.
What the fuck is going on here?
And
Like, she
Kathy
just went to
Kathy
him.
would just feel hands on the top of her shoulders. She doesn't want you here.
Does Ivory hear that?
No.
Okay. Even with Sense the Unseen and...
Oh, you know what? You do have your aspects going, so let's have you do a wits and awareness with your aspects.
Okay. Every chance to roll just makes it... Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. It'd be a good roll with aspects.
Yep. Should be.
We say that.
4 successes.
Okay. It is very faint, very quiet, and as loud as it is in Kathy's ears, it is almost like a voice at the other end of a park to Ivory. It is so soft and barely audible, but there is a very easy to discern, because you've done it yourself. There is an acted concern that is undermined by the malice that it is trying to impart.
Yeah, Ivory doesn't know anything about Wraiths, so she does not understand that.
Yeah. But it's definitely not directed at Ivory. It was directed at Kathy.
I can't remember. Does she... I think she did find out that it was her brother.
Yeah,
that was the ghost.
Yeah, Kathy let her know.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like my brother now.
Yeah, it does not look like the same one that she saw before.
Nope. No, this is stretched and pulled and monstrous compared to the meek, very humble human shape of Kathy's brother. Like her brother looked thin and wispy before, because as a wraith, you always embody the last thing that you remember of yourself, and he always remembered himself as having battled this disease that claimed so many other people. And so he always had this kind of wispy, ghost-like, thin, emaciated shape. But this is horrendously and almost monstrously exaggerated.
Why are you trying to hurt your sister? I thought you loved her. Come on. What? This is just, men. That's where all her frustration is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's valid.
You got to step back. She did not consent to this. Get the fuck back.
Kathy will feel the hands, and Ivory will actually see him kind of like trying to slither over her body to embrace her and pull her into him. How does Kathy want to react to that?
Ivory's pumped. She's gonna go towards Kathy and pull her away and try and get out to the outside.
The minute, like, Kathy's been in like a stupor.
Yeah.
Like, just like hand to her face.
Yeah.
But the minute she sees Ivory step, her eyes lock on Ivory's and she says, "Don't move." And that's it. And then she says in her deepest voice, she goes, "Get your fucking hands off me. If you were anything like my brother, you would never have done that." And like she takes a step back, and as she does it, every little bit of rage she can gather as a vampire, and every little bit of power she can, she's going to try and like push it away with all the shadows that she can.
Okay.
Can I roll for that?
You can indeed.
Willpower will be placed on this.
Well, you get to call willpower after the roll, so you're fine.
All right, what do we do?
Let's have you roll your strength. Actually, no. Let's have you roll composure and resolve. So it's 6 dice. So 5 regular, 1 hunger.
4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. Good. Somewhat. Okay, so my hunger dice is a 0.
Okay.
I have 2 other zeros, a 3, a 4, and a 1.
Okay.
Well, that might be good.
Yeah. So that's going to be 5 successes. You step back into it, and you feel the coldness envelop all of you. And for a moment, you sense that although this is a monstrosity and this is a thing that has taken its frustrations out on you physically, like your brother never would, he's in there. Everything good that you remember of your brother, there are pinpricks of him inside of this monstrosity. The majority of him is a swirl of anger and frustration and hatred, and it's never, for everything that embodies this dark side of him, it has never been directed in your direction. Everything has always been out at the world. You can feel that he never understood why it happened to him, and he never understood why this was so devastating. He never understood just what it meant to be this, for all intents and purposes, sacrificial lamb on the altar of science, given the time period and the disease that ravaged him. And all of that hatred is concentrated, and it is what has stretched him so far. But he's still in there somewhere, and with the combination of your stern reprimand and Ivory's mention of that familial bond that you had, you can feel all of that anger and all of the coldness in the club start to melt away. And as it does, so too does the form start to shrink. And the shadow starts to plop and drop onto the floor and evaporate almost like ice cream on a summer day. And when all that is left is the outline of your brother, there is this appearance of pure, unbridled effort at what it took to claw himself back from wherever he was. And he crashes onto the floor almost exactly how the security guard crashed to the floor. Same amount of time hitting his knees and coming forward, same amount of time just kind of letting his body hit the floor. And there's just this heavy sigh that he lets go of, and he starts to cry. And he starts to crawl into a fetal position. And there's nothing but melancholy that now radiates through the club.
Kathy will drop to her knees beside him,
Mhm.
and she's sobbing. She's sobbing everything,
Yep.
and she whispers and gets close. She's like, you gotta go, babe."
There's just red streaks coming down either side of your face.
I forget, vampires can't cry.
You can, it's
But
just there's only one
red
type of
streaks,
liquid in your body.
I got it. But she's reaching out to him, and she's like, you gotta go. We can't keep doing this to you and I hadn't seen you in a couple of days, and I just wanted to make sure you were okay. There are so many people that are going missing, and you gotta go. We can't. We can't. Whatever it is, either. And she says like the most corniest lines that she catches from a movie, like, you gotta go into the light. But she can't stay here. And like she tries to like shove him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see him wiping away at the spectral tears that he also like doesn't really cry. There's nothing moist. There's no liquid. Um, and there's a moment where he looks at you and he goes, I don't want to leave you here by yourself.
And like
She
shrugs her. Go ahead. Sorry, Ivory.
she's not alone.
And then she looks at me like, see, I can make friends. And like she's sobbing. She's like, I can make friends.
And
Um,
he nods. Are you sure?
if it means you don't come back like that. And then she like, and mind you, I'm assuming that even though she's a vampire, there's still a mark.
Mhm.
I'd be like, do you really want to do this to me again? Because next time she might not be here. And like she like knocks her head to Ivory. And
Yeah.
what then?
Okay.
But you gotta promise. You gotta promise. Whatever it is, you're going into something good.
Always.
And like she attempts to hug him in the best way she
Yeah.
can.
And there's a moment where you see a hand appear on his shoulder, just the outline of a glowing white hand, and he feels solid to you. There is that moment where you got to say goodbye finally to him. It has been given to you by something. And the moment he pulls himself away from you and he puts his hand on your face for the last time,
She whispers, "I love you." Like she actually looks at him and goes, "I love you so much." Mind you, God damn it, Will.
and he vanishes. There's a quiet moment where he just kind of nods and you see him mouth the same to you, and then right as he gets to the end of it, it just becomes dust.
He takes like a really long sigh. And like she wipes her tears.
Mhm.
Mind you, she wipes
Ivory
Yeah, just
goes up.
red-faced.
Yeah, Ivory kneels down next to her, hands her a handkerchief, probably.
She takes it, and then Kathy, like fashion, in the most broken voice you can imagine, she goes, "Welcome home, bitch."
She'll hug her.
Yeah, and there's a moment. There's a moment there that I think until you start to feel that pull of the day sleep, you really just kind of sit there with each other.
Ivory does look out the doors. Did the security guard wake up?
No.
Did I tried, man. I tried to save that guy.
Yeah. But once the windows kind of defrost, even while you're still in that moment, like you will hear Billy walking around, not interrupting you at all whatsoever. But he does kind of check the body.
She points outside, yeah.
Yeah, he checks the body, makes a note of it, and then you will hear him go back downstairs. And as he picks up the phone in the office, the door closes, and there is an uninterrupted moment where it's just two of you in the second story, and then once it gets to near enough to dawn that your body starts to feel that necrosis, that kind of narcolepsy, not the narcolepsy, the what's it called, rigor mortis. You pull yourselves away finally, and you go to your.
Ivory will help Kathy back into her room.
Yeah.
The minute she sees her cat, she lets it out and she like cuddles up next to it.
Yeah. And as you turn in for the day, I think this is a good point to call it for tonight. A little bit of a shorter episode, but it got really heavy there at the end, and I think just to be safe, let's call it here. So I want to thank you guys for participating, and I hope I didn't break you too badly as they are chastising me in the chat. And I want to thank you, the audience, for joining us for this. Sometimes vampire is silly, especially when Kathy's involved, and sometimes it gets, touching. But as always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. If you're watching us live, there are phone numbers going up in the Twitch chat, so just know that it is okay to not be okay, and if you feel like you're not okay, there are resources out there for you. So if you feel like you need help, just know that the extensions exist so that you can get the help that you need. If you're not in the United States or the phone numbers aren't helpful enough for you, there's a link as well, so you can find the resources in the area nearest you. It is a fantastic resource. If you're a friend or family member, somebody that is a strong personality, please check in on them. You never know how far a simple hello or how are you text can change the trajectory of somebody's life, as we've seen tonight in particular. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. If you need someone to check in on you, reach out, even if it's not to one of the services listed. If you're watching on YouTube, they'll be in the description box, so you will have access to those, regardless of whether you're watching live or not. We take mental health on the channel very seriously. As far as the schedule is concerned, Mondays are for Vampire, so next week we'll get to see what happens with the Anarchs, who probably aren't going to have such a sad episode. Tuesdays are for Legend of the Five Rings and Werewolf the Wild West. Thursdays were just for 7th Sea, but I've just clinched and locked in my cast for an Old Gods of Appalachia game that's going to be starting on the channel. So Thursdays will be for 7th Sea and Old Gods. It is called A Taste of Family, in homage to the podcast, if you haven't heard, I highly recommend you check that out. We're not sponsored. I just love it that much. And as always, please have yourselves a safe and good night, and we will see you when we see you. Take care.